Guys never believe this. I found Bigfoot hiding out here in Oregon. Look at this big motherfucker right here. Found Sasquatch. He's been chilling the whole time. You guys just never know what's gonna happen next. Fishing. We're going to Cabela's. Yeah. All right, let's kick it off with some hiking packs here. So they had some Osprey, they had some Columbia, they had some other ones I never heard of before. Just depends on what kind of leader and how much money you're trying to spend. You can really spend a lot on a pack. I spent a lot of money for my Osprey pack, but that thing was worth it. You can hide your hydration unit inside the pack and it fits comfortably. I like the support that Osprey has to offer. These travel coffee mugs and water thermoses were pretty cool. Love seeing the Oregon mountains and some of the other stickers that they had on there. We're checking out some of the camping food options they had. Look, when I was in the National Guard, these things definitely beat most of the MREs that I was eating. So really have an appreciation for the pre-dried food. Just add hot water. And they got some cooking ware in here and things like that that you can take along with you. Looking at a couple of headlamps, some other lighting options and stuff for when you're camping. We're going to go right back to the food, though, because you know I'm all about the food. I've had these Alpine dried fruit options in the past. They come out pretty good. I like the chili one. I like the breakfast ones. Look, it's a nice option. Like I said, even when I was in the National Guard, I'd prefer these over MREs. So if you can afford to sling $12 to $15 for a meal, not a bad option. Little tiny propane units, ways of being able to cook food in different ways. They had some alcohol units too, cooking utensils. I saw an infantry spoon over here, pretty close to it. Look at these stuffed taxidermy animals they had up here. These things were really cool to look at. I love the display, love how they put it out there. Just really a man's man place to go to, really. You could spend countless hours in here. Hot sauces, food rubs, meat rubs, barbecue sauces. They had just about anything and everything that you would have wanted to pick up to marinate meat, be it a London broil, New York steak, a prime rib, chicken, shrimp. I mean, they even had one that was a coffee rub, and I was surprised to see that. I'm like, coffee rub, what would that go good on? Cajun seasoning. We're getting ready to get down to some of the hot sauce stuff here in a minute. You guys are going to check out a lot of different hot sauces. I kind of wanted to try them, but I was kind of scared to pick one up too, because at the same exact time, you just never know what you're going to get. Look at this, kaboom, baby. Even comes with a little souvenir bullet keychain looking deal here. They had Carolina Reaper. They had some other ones that looked really hot and spicy. They had some Chipotle ones. Here's some garlic ones. Yep, Carolina Reaper. They had bacon flavor, ghost pepper. Dude, tons of options for seasoning. Fishing vests, lots of pockets. Nice to put some lures, some baits, some weights, things like that. They also had them to where they were they had like the life jacket built into them. Tons of fishing pole options. I found myself grabbing a few and playing with them. I really liked these green ones here that they were selling at Cabela's. Not a bad price at $60. They had some other ones for about $40 and $35. Still admiring some of the taxidermy work. Really awesome stuff. Checking out some of the skull and little home decor things. They had some antlers that you could smash together. Look at the rifles. I really want a Winchester cowboy rifle so bad. This one was only $450 and it looked like a really cool cowboy rifle. I'd like to hang that one up on the wall just for display even. Other bigger guns, revolvers. Look at this 1911 decked out in the Spartan. So freaking cool. Expensive, but pretty freaking cool. Loving the revolvers. Sure, they had a 44 Magnum in there. Clint Eastwood would have even been impressed. I was impressed. Love how many rifles and handguns they had on display here. I want a cowboy pistol too. I want a cowboy pistol just to have one, to say for the sake of having one. Other wooden rifles, 22s, 243s, shotguns, 308s. Like, they had all kinds of stuff, man. Just really in complete awe. So much stuff here. You could spend countless hours in Cabela's and never get bored. Look at the amount of camouflage you have. So much different camouflage options, from going into the wood line and hunting elk and deer to even going and doing duck blind and shooting fair game. You know what I mean? Shooting some bird. American flags, of course. Now we're kind of getting into some of the toys and some of the cool things for the kids. I did pick one of these little tiny bass lures up that were magnetic for the toolbox or refrigerator for at home in California. Love it. Had to have one. Couldn't be. I was like, I've used that same lure. I wanted to grab the lure, so I did. Checking out some beer signs here. Pretty funny stuff they had going on. Coffee cups were cool, fairly inexpensive. So happy with the prices. It was a lot of fair prices, anything from like $8 to $15, and they had these sets for $70 if you wanted a set for home. More camouflage, waders. Look at these cool pictures, man. The ducks, the fish, the deers, the bear. A lot of really cool, like, in-house decor stuff. Some wolves, more fish, more scenic shots, American flag shots, goats jumping across mountains and stuff. More taxidermy work. We're going to walk around here and check this out. I found, I think it was an elk that Roosevelt had shot around here over the corner. They put down that it was in, I think it was like Benton County, the Benton County. The year that he shot it, there was like some rams. Other side we're going to go to looks pretty cool. There's some beavers, a turkey. See right here, we're going to zoom in. Check that out. So freaking cool. They had water kind of falling down, this little tiny like makeshift river looking thing that they had. It was really cool. Deers, the deers look just, the way they did this display just brings it to life, makes it so real. Check this deer out. I guess this was like the biggest deer like ever shot, I guess. What's it look like? Look at the horns on this thing. Those horns were so freaking cool looking. My brother has a ton of these horns that were laying around at his house from going through timber cruising and picking them up. The antlers fall off and stuff like that. Now I'm in the bow section. You know I'm going to get in trouble here. Look, I used to have a Bear compound bow. Loved it. Had that thing for years. Only most recently I got rid of it and took it to the pawn shop. I know I didn't get junk for it, but dude, I'm telling you, I was looking at these newer ones. I was loving them. I was in love. I was wanting to buy one. But of course, I don't have the money for that. I don't have a need for it. But aren't they just cool to look at? Desert, camo, duck blind. They had them in green. They had them in brown. They had them in black. Just way cool. Like just true man stuff. You know what I mean? Check out some of these arrows and some of these arrow tips. These arrow tips would definitely stick into any game you're looking for. I like the ones they had the little spring action here, what they call the Reapers. Those things looked freaking bad to the bone. I wanted some of those. The Rage ones looked pretty cool. They had some that would just shrink right on impact and stick right into that freaking critter. No problem. Just loving life, enjoying the day, shopping around Cabela's, checking stuff out. I was even wanting one of these. I don't even know why. Just look cool. I was like, man, for bass fishing, $500, $700, $800, $1,000. This would just be cool to just dump into a lake or into a pond or something like that. Paddle out or even throw a little troller motor on the back and just go have a blast for the day. Here's one for $12.50. I think that was the most expensive one that I saw. There's a couple others in there that were like around the $500 to $800 range. I was hoping to see a price tag on that one. Didn't, but came around here, saw one for $600. So I imagine they're about the same price. So look, man, I'd spend $600 for that. Why not? Throw a troller motor on the back, call it a day, baby. Send it. So just checking it all out. Really just kind of, like I said, enjoying everything, enjoying the displays, enjoying the atmosphere. Really good vibe. Nice customer service. Definitely willing to help. Was trying to get my Oregon fishing license. Love this. Look at this. Campfires and cocktails. What a cool coffee cup. Here's another one I liked. Coffee by day, whiskey by night. Just loving it. Torched whiskey candle. Love this thing. Smelled really nice. Almost kind of like a vanilla smell, I think, on that one. This other one smelled more like a wood-burned whiskey smell. Antlers for the lamps. Antlers around picture frames. Antlers for a candy dish. Antlers for a candle. Here's more fishing poles. Really good deals here, $40. You want to buy your own individual reel, you can. Deep sea fishing, lake fishing, fly fishing. T-shirts and swag for Black Rifle Coffee. I was really digging this chainsaw coffee mug, $15. Really wanted to buy it. Told myself I didn't need it, but wanted it for sure. Wanted to get some of this Black Rifle coffee, this vintage style, medium roast. Don't have a coffee pot. Makes no sense for me to buy it, but I wanted some. I wanted to try it out. Never had Black Rifle coffee before. Looks good. Some SF Black Rifle coffee. Some Fire Alarm dark roast. They had some silk roast. They just tons of different coffee options here. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool to see this on display. Oh man, had to get me out of there quick. I'm telling you. Man, stores are super hard to avoid spending everything you don't have. I say that because there's so many things I wanted. Kayak. What am I gonna do with a kayak right now? I don't even know, but I wanted one. Fishing poles. There's antler lamps. I really liked that little chainsaw coffee cup. That thing was pretty cool, but doesn't really hold enough coffee for me. Wanted to get some Black Rifle medium roast, vintage roast coffee, but I don't have a coffee pot to make it in, so I just got me a little tiny lure magnet and an energy drink and called it a day, baby. All right, so as I sit here and struggle through my emotional and mental turmoil of all the things going through my head, you know, as much as I can see possibly a brighter financial future for my family and I, trying to make this transition, trying to lock something in for us up here, the amount of time required to get to where I think we could be might be so extended that it might just not be worth it at this conjunction in my life, and I may have to take another path. And so as I sit here in my thoughts and I think about things, I think that if I was to, when I get back to California for the time being, if I really drive the nail into this mobile mechanic business thing that I was thinking about doing, maybe I can make a few bucks that way to try to dig out of this hole that I've created for myself. And quite possibly I could add to that over time and maybe just be as successful as my buddy Jamie up here is with his multiple business lifestyle that he has. So what I mean by that is, like, well, maybe I start off with this mobile mechanic thing, maybe I make enough money doing it over time that I'm able to get like a pickup truck, a ladder, and I start slowly adding a few, you know, cordless tools to the mix, maybe an air compressor that I can travel with. Look, man, I had my own roofing business once upon a time ago. I've had my own lumber business once upon a time ago where I was cutting firewood and selling it. Once upon a time ago, I did have a mobile mechanic business. I had a ground maintenance and waste disposal business. I could fire up multiple business cards and try to drum up whatever it is that I can, and see if one of them or any of them take off for the interim of things, you know, because right now, like I said, heading back to Yucca, heading back to the lower desert, I really don't see a lot of potential career moves that I could make that would put us in a financial position that would be comfortable over time and could get us out of debt. I just don't. The be your own boss thing, I've done that before, like I said, with multiple businesses running at the same exact time, and it kept us afloat, but it didn't really get us ahead because not one of them was booming at any one point in time. I was hit and miss phone calls here and there for this, that, and the other. So I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous to see how that goes. I still have a willingness to try it. There'd be a couple things that I'd probably grab right at the get-go. You know, try to make a few bucks here, maybe put a few bucks to the side here, get back. I'd probably buy one of them aluminum jacks from Harbor Freight, a couple of jack stands. And then I got a couple of Hercules batteries. Maybe I'll grab the Hercules 1/2 inch. Wouldn't have to worry about batteries or a charger for it. could be beneficial to at least start off with that and then go from there and see what happens. Keep focusing on the YouTube thing for now. It's not really doing as well as it did 3-4 years ago when I was doing very well at it. I think the biggest thing that was a game changer for me is at one point I was very, very confident. I was very confident financially. I was secured in my lifestyle. I had a nice hefty amount saved and invested. I had multiple retirement accounts. Like, I felt very confident about myself, where it was that I was at, my capabilities, what it was that I was doing, and I really didn't think that it would all go away as fast as it did, and it did. And it was demoralizing. It really made me feel defeated, you know. And I hate to say it, but having that kind of that devastating impact on your lifestyle, it can make you to feel like, you know, that you just can't win for losing, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I've struggled with that. I've struggled with that for a few years now, and I don't feel like I've had a win in a few years. And I've been trying. I've been rolling the dice. I've been spinning my wheels. Try again. You know, I'm willing to take certain risks to see if the reward is there. If it don't pan out, it don't pan out. On to the next. You know, I don't sit around really and wait. I just on to the next thing. And I try. So, you know, yeah, I've been riding the couch basically since mid-November, but it hasn't been without effort. I've tried, you know, numerous different things and trying to change my outcome, and even making this jump up here to Oregon just to see. And like I said, I can see a lot of potential growth over time. I could see a very, very good and established position with that company. And I think financially, we would be way better off if everybody was up here. But again, it might not be the right move for everybody. Everybody has something to lose by moving up here as a result of employment opportunity. You know what I mean? And that's the part where I'm like, I'm not sure if that's a selfish decision then at that point. And I feel like it kind of is. And I feel like maybe this trip, this being up here, hopefully it remotivates me to try to do something for myself, by myself kind of thing. Like, maybe it is time to stop worrying about applying for regular jobs. Maybe it is time for me to give myself a chance at trying to own and run my own business and see if it takes off. I'm super proud of my wife for being able to get a job, because I know how important it was for her to be around the baby and to not have to like leave him in daycare or anything like that. And kudos to her for finding a position to be able to take the baby with her and still work and pull 35 to 40 hours a week. So I'm very proud of her for that. And I don't want her to have any kind of a negative impact as far as like having to give up the job that she just got, plus move away from all of her family and friends, just to take a risk and come on up here and see if we can make it stick. You know what I mean? And same exact thing for me, you know, with having to be too far away from my daughter and the kind of closeness and relationship that we have. That's a big sacrifice on my part that I'm not sure I'm willing to give up either. I have been trying to tell myself that I have to look at the bigger picture, and I have been. And I also been looking at the biggest picture, you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, what direction to go? What's the better choice? All of that, you know what I mean? You know, I think the other thing that really kind of impacts this whole thing, it would be one thing if straight up, if we were just reliant on us both having to have jobs in order to make it, then I think that you know, we would have probably have been gone and changed states and tried to figure out something a long time ago. But the fact is that we have just enough income that comes in to where we're able to stay afloat. But it has been a struggle because, you know, we're not able to put money to the side just yet. You know, now with the wife working, maybe there's a possibility for me to really push this whole business thing and see if I can make it work. I don't know, you know. I'm just sitting here in my thoughts. Like I said, I got nothing but time now. I got about 2 more weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that, before I head on back. And I'm really just trying to put together some kind of a game plan, anything. You know, I reached out to my uncle down in the lower desert to see, you know, what he was doing, what he was up to, if he needed help with roofing. Gotta wait to hear back from that. You know, I reached out to him before, but they were kind of slowing down and didn't need help. So, you know, I gotta wait, you know, a couple months, 2-3 months, and then I check back in. So I always check in just to see. I tried my cousin again, because sometimes he needs help and other times he don't. And he's a masoner / general contractor, and unfortunately he's going through recovery right now. His shoulder's all jacked, so he just had surgery on it, so he's out for about 6 months. So nothing happening there. And I'm just gonna have to push my own business, push my own agenda, and see if I can try to make something out of it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was surprised, happily surprised, at how quick and easily it was for me to find work up here. And I was trying to explain to the wife, you know, even if I don't take this position, which it sounds like it could be a really good position in the long run, even if I don't take this position, if there was ever a thought that maybe we should reattempt the idea of taking a move up here, same exact process, man, same exact process. All I gotta do is make a couple phone calls, get my butt on up here, stay with the same person I've been staying with, work the same, you know, little side gigs here and there, drum up a few bucks till I found something, lock it in, figure it out. So no, this isn't the be all end all trip. I absolutely have to make a decision right now. But you know, like I said, I'm just kind of going through the motions, going through the process, collecting information, trying to figure it out. You know, I understand, you know, nobody wants to go in debt. You know, it'd be way more beneficial if you could always obviously figure out how to pay for things in cash. Unfortunately, that's just not the way the world works all the time. It does for some people, not for others. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to leverage your business using credit. And a lot of businesses start off with a credit loan. My brother started his business on a loan. Flat out. You know, he got a little bit of help from Mama. Mom shot him about 20K, and he was able to kick his business off, and now he's very successful. You know what I mean? But we're trying to do it solo mio. I don't have no 20K to start a business. I brung what I brung. Whatever I got's what I got, and that's where we're at with life. And I think we'll figure it out, you know? Do a couple of jobs that I'm able to do by hand, maybe put enough money in pocket, as I said, as I go back, to get a couple of basic things, you know, just to think about it. I don't have an air compressor. I don't have a breaker bar. But certainly if I didn't want to buy the cordless impact gun to remove lug nuts, I could get a breaker bar, run that just to take the wheels off to get started, and then move into, of course, like a cordless 1/2-inch Hercules. No big deal. But if I could put some money aside to be able to afford it right out the get-go, it's just going to make life a little bit easier and some jobs a little bit faster. So that's the thought process there. The aluminum jack and a couple of jack stands shouldn't be too bad to save up and drum those things up when I fly on back. So we'll just play it by ear, man. Look, hey, I came up, I showed up, I showed out, I freaking tried my little butt off up here. I've been making some moves, taking care of myself, family's taken care of. I just got done paying a bunch of bills back home. We're cooking, man. We're moving and grooving. So, beautiful place. Yes, I am having fun. It's nice to be able to see, you know, some old friends and family and check things out. I'm already looking to see if I can get my fishing license through the Fishing and Wildlife with my VA card, because I know that that's free for us. So I'm trying to see if I can get that while I'm up here, even though I'm out of state and I'm not technically an Oregon resident. I'm an Oregon veteran, but I'm not an Oregon resident. So I'm just checking it all out, you know. I think my buddy's got an extra fishing pole. I just want to make sure I got my license before we end up throwing the pole in the water. You know, I'm not trying to get in trouble. So it doesn't take too much effort to just apply and get her done, son. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Thanks as always for watching this update. Cheers to those of you who have your beers. I'm heading on back to the ranch, so that's all I got for today. See you guys next time. Cheers. Deuces.